Yeah, hi everyone. So in this video, we are going to see the most important topics for GATE 124 for EC and electrical students. And for instrumentation student, we will see the common subjects. Okay. So now I admit that it's really tough to predict GATE exam because GATE exam is completely unpredictable. They can ask anything from anywhere. That I admit. But there can be some reference, right? We can take some previous year paper of IIC Bangalore and some last 10 years question paper of GATE examination. From taking that reference, I have given a realistic approach now. I will deal subject wise, whatever is important and what I feel can be asked. Okay, this is just my analysis. I am not claiming that this will be asked only, but just my analysis. Now, some people will say that now organizing institute is IIC Bangalore, but 7 IITs and IIC Bangalore combined will frame the question paper. I admit that. Alone IIC Bangalore is not going to conduct the exam, but there is always some influence of the institute that is organizing the exam. What I want to say is that let's assume, let's take the example of last year. Who conducted the exam? IIT Kanpur. Even before the exam, everyone was pretty sure that electrical paper will be very tough because this is the trend of IIT Kanpur. IIT Kanpur always sets toughest paper for electrical students, and this is what happened. Even Made Easy were setting very tough mock paper for electrical guys, and even Ankit sir was also saying that electrical paper is going to be very tough, and this is what happened, right? So there is always some influence of the organizing institute. And this year, IIC Bangalore is framing the paper. So I saw the question paper. What I have seen, they ask more conceptual question than the formula based. What I mean to say is that they will, like in exam, you will not have to like remember something like I only remember this formula, then only I can solve this problem. There will be very less question like that. You will be doing the analysis of the question. Like you will be starting from beginning and you till the end you will be doing the analysis. Like it's not that you will have to remember a lot of formulas, then only you can solve the problem. Like what I feel in analog network and in control systems, they will not ask any question that is formula based. Complete analysis will be there. And same goes for communication system. In signal systems, you have to remember the formulas, some concepts you have to remember. But these subjects they will try to ask as minimum as formula based question. More conceptual based they will ask. Okay. So based on this, I am presenting a realistic analysis in front of you. So let's start with the first chapter, that is network analysis. So these are the chapters. Now I will put star. So star means the number of questions can be asked. Okay. And star means the number of questions can be asked. That can be asked. If I am putting 2 star, that means 2 questions can be asked. So basically for me, from basics of network, they can ask 2 questions. They can ask anything bulb based problem they can ask. They can ask simple KCL, KVL also they can ask. But what I feel, there can be 2 questions from basics of network. From network theorem, I would assume 1 question. From any network theorem they can ask. More importantly, Thevenin and Norton. Okay. More importantly, Thevenin and Norton, or else they can ask from anything. Reciprocity theorem also I can like reciprocity theorem also I can expect. Okay. Then we will go to transient. From transient, 1 or maximum 2 they can ask. From 2 port I can see 1 question, and for EC guys this is very rare, but still they can ask 1 question, but very rare. So I will put it like this. Okay, but very rare. Okay. From complex power they can ask question or resonance. Complex power or resonance, but 1 question only. But these DC analysis part will be asked more importantly from network analysis. Okay. So yeah, that's how I feel network analysis can be asked. Okay. Let's move on to analog circuits. So analog circuits, 1 question from diode circuits or maximum 2. 2 also can be there. And what I feel, 1 question from Zener diode is certainly coming. Certainly, 1 question from Zener diode is certainly coming. Now, Zener diode may get into breakdown, may not get into breakdown, but 1 question I feel from Zener diode there will be. There will be 1 question from Zener diode for sure, that I feel. Now, from MOS biasing and BJT biasing, I feel there can be 1 question. More importantly, MOS biasing. Sorry, BJT biasing. From MOS biasing and BJT biasing is more important as per me. And in case of amplifiers, most amplifiers is more important, and at least 2 questions you can expect, at least 2. Like in electrical, they don't ask that much depth of analog electronics, right? They would ask more questions in diode circuit, but very less from these amplifiers. But op-amp in electrical is also asked. So from op-amp, I can at least expect 3 questions. At least I am saying. At least I am saying. And one more can be there. 4 questions can be there. So at least 3 questions will be there from op-amp. That's for sure. Okay, I shouldn't say for sure, but yeah, this is what I feel. From op-amp, they will ask good number of questions, and like 1 question or maximum 2 questions from negative feedback, but from positive feedback 2 questions will be there for sure. From positive feedback, they can ask anything now. Smith trigger they can ask, oscillators they can ask multivibrators, or from positive feedback what else you can meet. Yeah, so these things, Smith trigger, multivibrators, and what did I say? Smith trigger, multivibrators, and oscillator. So from positive feedback where virtual short is not valid, from there they can ask. Okay. Now signal systems. So in signal systems, all topics are equally important, and from each topic they can ask 1 question. Like from LTI system, I can expect 1 question. They can ask you sinusoid response or anything, or they can simply ask whether it is a LTI system or not. So 1 question I can expect from LTI systems. From CTFS, continuous time Fourier series, I can expect 1 question. No, not expect. I just feel there will be 1 question from CTFS for sure. They can ask the value of AN, BN, or CN, whatever they can ask, but there will be some question from CTFS for sure. And if we talk about CTFS, then we can talk about sampling as well. So 1 question from sampling for sure. DFT, continuously IITs are asking questions from DFT, especially in EC exam. Okay, they are continuously asking. And for continuous time Fourier transform as well, this is also very important topic. So 1 question from each. And in Laplace and jet transform, what I feel, they will be more inclined towards ROC. At least in one of the transform, be it Laplace or be it jet transform, they will be inclined towards ROC in one of the transform at least. Okay, so 1 question from each. This is what I expect in signal systems. Okay, so let's move on to the next subject, that is control systems. So in control systems, from basics they can ask question from sensitivity. Okay, they can ask question from sensitivity, be it for positive feedback or negative feedback. And from block diagram reduction and FSD, rare chance that they can ask, rare. Okay, rare. So I'm making it like this, rare chance. State space analysis, certainly 1 question will be there. Certainly, I'm pretty sure 1 question will be there from state space analysis, but 2 also can be there. So rare chance. Time response, certainly 1 question will be there. Okay, they can ask in any way. Still there can be 2 questions, but 1 question will certainly be there. What they can ask, mainly they can ask error function, or they can ask any parameter like peak time or maximum peak overshoot, or any overshoot they can ask. Okay, so from time response, certainly the 1 question will be there. RS criteria, not pretty sure, but there can be 1 question. Not pretty sure, but there can be 1 question. Now from frequency response, at least 3 questions they will ask. Not at least, I can't say at least 3 questions they will ask, but I just feel like they will ask 3 questions. More importantly, from Nyquist, root locus, and body plot. These 3 are more important. Root locus, Nyquist, and body plot. From polar plot as well they can ask, but I am assuming that they will ask more from Nyquist, body, or root locus. Okay, so yeah, these are the important. From frequency response, any kind of frequency response they can ask. So these are the topics of frequency response which are important. And from compensator and controller, rare chance, but 1 question may come. Rare chance, rare. Okay, rare chance. Now mathematics is mathematics is that subject where we can't really predict what will come. Okay, in mathematics, I don't think we can predict anything, be it set by IIT Bombay, IIT Bangalore, or IIT Madras, IIT Delhi, any IIT. We can't really predict mathematics. Okay, so I would say all subjects are equally important. Just a slight edge to vector calculus. A slight edge to vector calculus, because in previous year question I have seen that they are asking more on vector calculus. Okay, so slight edge to vector calculus. Now digital electronics. This is for EC. In the next slide we will see for electrical. This will be for electrical. This is for EC. So in digital, actually all topics are equally important. That I would say, but these topics are less taken care of. Like you don't put so much efforts in these topics, but from these 2 I would expect at least 1 question from these 2. either from floating point representation or either from CMOS implementation of logic gates. So from these two, at least one question I can expect. This is what I feel. Okay, and from ADC DAC also there will be one question. They can ask two questions as well, but certainly one question they will ask. And rest all topics are equally important, like sequential, combinational, and K-maps, Boolean algebra. All these are equally important then. Okay, so three questions we can expect. And sequential circuit, a slight edge. From sequential, they can ask one or two questions. So a slight edge to sequential circuits. And if they ask, they will ask a very good question from sequential circuits. Okay. In sequential circuits, I am counting the counter as well. Counters will come into sequential circuits only. Okay. Now, digital electronics for electrical students. Only three main topics are there. So, combinational, sequential, you can expect two, and one from ADC DAC. No need to focus much on all other topics. Like you have to study Boolean algebra, you have to study K-maps as well to understand all these things. But there is a very rare chance that they will ask question from K-maps or Boolean algebra. If they are asking the question, they will ask from these topics only: combination, sequential, and ADC DAC. And as far as I feel, the questions will be easier. They will be on easier side, not on tougher side. Okay. So these three are the important topics for electrical students. Okay. Yeah. So now I will be explaining the EC core, and electrical core will be explained by Anisha in the rest of the part of the video. Anish sir will explain the rest of the part of electrical core in the remaining part of the video. I will explain the EC core. Okay. So let's move on to communication system. So from analog com, I can expect two questions from analog communication. Now from where it will be asked, it will be from angle modulation or amplitude modulation. I really can't comment, because in some of the paper they have asked more from an angle, and in some of the paper they have more asked from amplitude. So I can't really comment on analog com. Random variable, random process, like we don't really put so much efforts in random variable and random process, but this is the topic where you should put the most efforts when you are studying communication system. This is the most important topic of communication system, and I would expect at least two questions. And central limit theorem, I can expect there will be one question from central limit theorem. Okay, this for this year I can feel this will be the important part, central limit theorem. Okay, and from digital com, yeah, there are a lot of topics in digital com, but what I feel, I just wrote the important topics here. It's not that you will not revise all other topic, but put more focus on these three topics. Like probability of error, how to solve probability of error questions. There is a video on my channel, on Himanshu Agrawal's channel. If you go to playlist, you will find communication systems question. So there you will find how to solve the probability of error problems. Okay. What do I mean by probability of error? Probability of error, or I can say digital receiver. So how to solve digital receiver problems, that you can find on my channel, or if you have already studied, you don't need to go there. So one problem from each topic I can expect. There are a lot of more topics from there as well. There can be questions, but from these three are the most important, I feel. Okay. Then let's go to EMFT. So in EMFT we have more importantly 4 chapters. This is for EC. Okay. For electrical, Anish sir will explain. So for EM wave, like they can ask formula based question from initial part, like they can ask the value of alpha, beta, or skin depth, they can ask. Okay, very easy formula based question. From oblique incident, they can ask very good question, and from polarization as well, they can ask very good question. So these two topics are I am commenting on: oblique incident and polarization from EM wave. Transmission line is the most important topics for EMFT for this year. The most important topic. So from transient behavior or transmission line, they can ask one question. Like this is not oftenly asked, but they can ask one question from this topic: transient behavior or transmission line. And then they can ask easy question on VSWR or location of voltage minima, voltage maximum. If you have studied the topic, you know what I am talking about. So they can ask one question from here. One or two questions they can ask. And now the question comes whether they will ask S parameter or Smith chart. Like first thing is that this topic is complex. S parameter is complex and Smith chart is also complex. And they are not usually asked in the exam. They are very rarely asked. But this year, there can be one question. Okay, one question from either from Smith chart or from S parameter. One question I can expect. So I can't really comment on this, but one question I can expect from this. Okay, because ISC Bangalore focuses, like, Smith chart is very conceptual. Like, your complete transmission line is coming on one circle only. So this is a very conceptual topic. So that's why I'm thinking that ISC Bangalore will focus on this topic as well. Like, if it was said by some other IIT, I wouldn't say that you should focus on Smith chart as well. But this year you should focus on Smith chart. At least know the basics. Okay. And from waveguide is very straightforward chapter. So all our formula based things are there. So one question you can expect from waveguide, only formula based. And antenna is a very complex topic, and it is also unpredictable. I would say it is also unpredictable. Okay, so I would say you can expect formula based question at least. You can prepare formula based question. Now this is unpredictable for me as well, for you as well. If they ask the question, they can ask very, very tough question that nobody can solve. Even the teachers would take 1 or 2 months to solve that problem. And if they ask very easy, then they will ask very, very easy, so that everyone can solve. And in the communication, I forgot the part for information theory actually. So again, information theory is also one of the topic which is unpredictable. In information theory as well, you can't really predict what will happen. Like during my time, they asked a lot of questions from information theory in GATE 2022. So yeah, this is also unpredictable. Okay. So this also I would say unpredictable. Now EDC. In EDC, the most important topic is basic semiconductor physics this year. If they are asking more questions from EDC, they will focus more on basic semiconductor physics. And from PN junction and BJT, you can expect combined 1 or maximum 2 questions. From most cap, I can expect 1 question, and from most physics as well, I can expect 1 question. So this is the realistic analysis I would expect. And there is one more topic in EDC, that is special purpose diode. Special purpose diode. So again, very tough to comment. This is also unpredictable. Very tough to comment on this. Okay. So yeah, that's the analysis from my side. So now let's move on to the Anish sir's part. There he will explain electrical core. Okay. Thank you.
Hi everyone, I'm Anish and I will be giving you the paper prediction for the electrical branch, right? So Himanshu has already given you the paper prediction for the common subjects. Now I will give you the prediction for the core electrical subjects, right? So basically we know like ISC Bangalore is the organizing institute of GATE 2024. So let's talk about the paper prediction. So for electrical, right, it's almost similar only. Mostly questions will come in the moderate level, right, from all of the subjects, and they will be more on the conceptual side rather than you have to mug up formulas. You have to be more conceptually clear to solve this question. Okay, if you just use your brain a bit more, you can solve that question easily. They won't be too much difficult, but they will be conceptual, and the level will be moderate. So let's start with measurement, right? So for measurement, what I will say is I will star mark whichever topics are important, right? So here, right, I will star mark the basics of indicating instrument and measurement of power and energy. These two topics are very important and mostly questions come from this, right? So these two topics you study, right, in the last few days, and the CRO I will star mark it as 1. Okay, other topics are not that important. Okay, you can skip those, are not that important. So yeah, this is for the measurement. Anyways, the weightage is pretty low. Okay, weightage is around, I think it is almost 2 to 3 marks. Okay, this is just a prediction, not not I can say for sure short, but around 2 to 3 marks is the weightage for measurement, right, in electrical core. So yeah, this is for the measurement. Now let's come to the EMFT. So EMFT, right, EMFT is not that doesn't come that difficult for electrical people, but like what we used to do is like skip it, like, and we haven't studied it very well in our class 11 12, right? So that basic concept only comes here. Okay, except this these two topics, the electrostat is only that only, right? So what do you do? Electrostat is very important, so I will double star mark that, right? Electrostat is very important. Then magnetostatic, static, and the Maxwell's equation, these two are important, right? So basically, like, this is the first priority, then you can go for the other one. Okay, and here also the questions mostly come moderate, and like the weightage is generally pretty less. Okay, but still it can vary from anywhere between 2 to 3 marks. anywhere between 2 to 3 marks, right? So yeah, generally what happens is students find this magnetostatics and Maxwell's equation difficult. So what you can do is you can skip these two, only study this one. This is the most important. Okay, electrostatics is the most important, you study that one. Now coming to my power system, so this is a very big topic, and like weightage is around like 10 marks or 10 to 13 marks, right? So weightage of this one is around 10 to 13 marks. Okay, so weightage of this one is around 10 to 13 marks. Then what does that mean? That means like from PSO1, right? From PSO1 basically the transmission and distribution, right? Transmission and distribution system, like all these three, I can say this is just a 1-star topic, right? 1 star. Okay, now what about the economic load dispatch? Like all these three are just 1 star. Okay, question has some probability to come, but this is 1 star. Now this economic load dispatch is pretty short, and one question generally comes, right? One question generally comes. So what I will say is this is 2 star. Okay, this topic is 2 star. I will bring this one here. And what about my per unit system and fault analysis? So this is again very, very favorite topic and important topic. So mostly questions will come moderate here, and you will be able to solve it. So this is right, this is 3 star, very important, very important. And this power system stability also is 3 star again, right? And load flow studies, what happens is generally like you generally are tired of this, because after studying all these things, right? So you can skip this one. I can tell this as 1 star, right? And other things, right, these are not that important. I will not mark them. Okay, so from fault analysis and per unit system, you can expect at least 3 to 4 marks, right? 3 to 4 marks here. Okay, that's why I made it 3 star, right? 3 to 4 marks. And from economic load dispatch, you can at least expect 1 max. And why is this 2 star? Because the like the breadth of this topic, right, is very less, and you can easily score 1 marks, right? So yeah, that's why I always tell you to study this topic, right? 1 marks. Okay, and from transmission line parameters, the breadth is very, very high. Okay, and you will get only 3 to 4 marks. Like you have to give in a lot of hours to study all these topics, right, in between, and you will only get 3 to 4 marks. And here only just studying these 2 topics, right, you can easily score 3 to 4 marks. Okay, very easy to understand also this topic. So yeah, these 2 are very important. Like from the power system stability, right, we can expect at least 2 marks. Okay, at least 2 marks. Like for the previous cases, I didn't put in any marks because like the weightage is anyways very low. So from electrostat you can get 1 to 2 marks, from magnetostat and Maxwell's equation 2 marks, like that. Okay, and for measurement we can't say. Okay, we can't say, but from these topics, right, mainly questions come. CRO may have 1 marks in it, and the other 2 topics may have 2 marks in it, right? So yeah, from these 2 topics, the marks distribution you can understand, right? So yeah, these are not important. Okay, now obviously the like what I am saying, everything is with the prediction and everything with a disclaimer that like ISC Bangalore can give like question from any topic, but these are the most predicted and most expected, right? Most expected. Okay, so yeah, so like if you have less time and if you haven't covered few topics and you just want to know what are the important topics, so this is that one, right? So for electrical machines, weightage is almost equal. Okay, and level of questions will be moderate for all of them, right? You can solve them. Okay, and what will be the like overall weightage? It will be something around, let's say 10 to 14 marks, right? 10 to 14 marks. Okay, so the weightage will be around 10 to 14 marks. Now what about like the distribution basically? So all of them are important, but what I will say is DC machine and transformer are generally easy to study, and DC machine is the shortest one to study. That breadth is the shortest one, and transformers is easy, but it is a bit lengthy because you have to study the 3-phase transformer also. So you can skip the 3-phase transformer, you can only study the normal transformer, right? And like what I will say, like these three, right, these three are equally important. Okay, induction machine, these three are equally important. What happens to students is that they find synchronous machine difficult, so you can skip that part. Like you can skip the practice of that part, just practice these 3 topics. Okay, so what I will mark these 3 as, like these 3 I will mark as like 2 star. Basically all of them has equal weightage, and this one I will mark as 1 star. Okay, So like weightage is equal. I won't tell you the amount of questions because all of them are important here, right? Machines, all of them are important. But one topic is very surprising and which isn't generally covered is the electromechanical energy, right? Electromechanical energy. So this is basically the topic that we study before studying my DC machine. Basically what happens is, how is my energy converted, right, from mechanical to electrical or electrical to mechanical? How is that energy converted? Okay, so that concept is taught here, and like ISC Bangalore has given one question from this one. So if you have the time, do try out few questions from here. Okay, do try out few questions from here, right? So this can come as a surprise topic, right? Surprise element. So yeah, this also I will put as 1 star. Okay, so generally this what happens is generally people skip, right? So from here one question may come because ISC has given one question, but obviously it's a rare chance, but still one question may come, right? So this was for my electrical machines. Now let's go to power electronics. So for power electronics, right, like from here, like the overall weightage is around 10 to 12 marks only, right? Overall weightage is around 10 to 12 marks only. So now, right, I have semiconductor switches, rectifiers, choppers and inverters. So what I will say is, like these right, rectifier and choppers are very important, and at least you can expect 6 marks from them, right? 6 marks, right? So from rectifiers you may get 3 questions, from choppers you may get 2 questions, right? So these two topics are very important, so you have to study this. Okay, so from rectifier, like at least 2 questions, at least you can say 3 to 4 marks, right? From chopper you can say 2 to 3 marks, and chopper is very easy to cover as well. Okay, it is not that lengthy and it is very easy to cover, very conceptual, right? But inverter, what happens is, like it is difficult to cover as well, and the marks come a bit low also, like 1 to 2 marks, right? 1 to 2 marks. So I will keep this at 1 star, right? And semiconductor switches is the basic thing. Okay, so without understanding switches, obviously how you will solve rectifiers? Like you can, but you have to understand switches also. So what I will put this as 2 star, right? 2 star. So from here, switches also you can expect 1 marks. Okay, switches also you can expect 1 marks. So like yeah, that is basically it for the all the paper analysis basically. So what I wanted to say to you is that mostly I also covered in the starting of the video is that like they may pose a bit of conceptual question. Okay, and like question level will be moderate, you will be able to solve it, but you have to be there. And if the question becomes lengthy, right, if the question is lengthy, then what you do is simply mark for you and skip and go to the next one, right? You solve it later. Don't get to your ego that you have to solve it then and then itself, right? No, you just mark for you and skip it, and then in the next round, right, then you again try to solve it. Okay, if you feel like you can, okay, you just mark for you and then go to the next question, because next question may be easier, maybe less lengthier, and you will get marks from that. So don't get anything to your ego, right? So yeah, all the best for your gate exam.